podcast is rated TV PG for fantasy violence and language. Welcome back to Star Wars Birth of the Republic tabletop role-playing game. Episode 21. I'm Kirk, and I will be your storyteller.
I am Andrew. I play Hakru, the Zabrak Scout.
I'm Eric. I'm playing Lashara, the Bothan Noble.
I'm Greg. I'm playing Dodd, the Human Scoundrel.
Yeah, I'm Seth, playing Jad Marketa, the Rhodian Scoundrel.
This is Mary, and I will be playing Rura, the Tagorian Scout.
Welcome back to Gaming Without Gaming, Star Wars Birth of the Republic. Last episode, we had a fight in Lashara's home estate where there were some bounty hunters, for lack of a better term, that were coming for her father. And it ended with the bounty hunters all being dispatched, and one of the bounty hunters cornered Lashara's mom and dad and shot them both. And this triggered Lashara to use some dark side powers and to let her anger sort of take over. I think she only took on 2 dark side points, but decapitated 2 people pretty handily. And at the last, we had her father and mother laying on the ground, not mortally wounded, but they were pretty beat up, and she used her vital transfer to bring her father back around, and Hakru was bandaging up her mother. We still had Dodd and Rua were kind of in the library in the aftermath, and outside we had the HK droid was sort of standing guard, probably getting close to Dodd, while the Ripper was floating in the air and slowly turning back around and landing, with Jad in the cargo bay with his E-Web just finished setting up and ready to shoot some people. So we will open back up now in the dining room where Lashara has just finished bringing her father back. So he opens his eyes and says, first thing he says is your mother okay? And she says, she like grabs the snout and she's like, I'm fine.
So I guess Lash is, still kind of putting herself together and coming down from the crazy emotions that just occurred, and trying to settle down. But at the same time, she can't really get all the way calmed down because she has this feeling inside that, danger may not be completely gone, and she wants to find out who would be responsible for this action on Bothawai. The Bothans don't just act like this typically. She's very perplexed about what the hell is going on here.
Probably has anger tears drying up on her fur from everything. Dodd, the HK, is walking up to you and he puts out a hand. He says, squishy human, do you need a hand up?
Thanks, pal.
He helps you back up.
Grabbing, holding my side where I got blasted.
And he turns back around toward the gate and stands ready.
I nod at him and go to the comm.
All right, people, check in. Where are we at? What's going on?
Ruru's on the other side of the window, kind of poking her
Right.
head out,
I'm just
looking
gonna
around.
like I look over and I'm like, all good as far as I know.
Anyone else?
Nanat says, we've landed.
All right, good.
Um,
Jad? Oh, his comms down.
So what do you mean we landed? We were turning around to shoot those guys. Keep going around. Don't land.
he turned back around, so you got to walk all the way around the ship to get to where everyone else is.
At least 6 turns.
Yep.
Right.
All of them
All right.
left.
Lash, I need to hear from you. What's going on?
She says, I'm in the dining room. Mom and Dad are going to be okay. Can you guys check these assassins and see if there's any kind of markings or anything that would indicate where they came from or who they might be working for?
Sounds like a gather information check.
I go stalk over to the one that's slumped over by a bookshelf that never actually got opened,
Yep.
I don't think.
Yep. There's also one in the dining room that got decapitated.
Yeah, Hakru is going to grab a pitcher of water off the table, bring it over to the injured people, set down some cups, and then quietly exit. And he will go check the ones
Okay.
in the
Foyer?
foyer.
Foyer.
Yeah.
Lashara looks over and sees, and realizes, the closest assailant is headless, and that she was responsible for that, and cannot even fathom searching bodies or anything like that. And she turns back away, and she shakes her head, and the only thing she can think about is talking to her teacher and trying to figure this out.
You guys are all everyone's moving out through all the rubble and everything and talking. And as Lashar is thinking that, you hear Jenna's voice from behind you say, "Are you okay?" I sensed a disturbance. And she walks in behind you, and just right past you is Leto, and he's carrying the holocron.
Oh, cool. So she slowly, stands up and lowers her head and kind of sniffles a bit and tries to keep it together, but lets it slip that when I saw Father go down, my emotions got the better of me, Master. I lost control, and she just, she's like, she completely slumps, and she's kind of ashamed, and she points over to the body, and she said, "Look what I did," and you can hear the shame in her voice.
When Hakru sees Leto carrying the holocron, he's going to go over to Leto, kind of put his arm around him and be like, "I don't think we are welcome right now." And he's going to take the holocron, he's going to put it on the ground inside, and he's like, "Plus, I need your help with these guys out here."
Leto says, "She asked me to bring her in."
"And we will retrieve her later. It will be okay."
Okay. Set it down. He goes off with you. She walks over and sort of kneels down next to the decapitated person and puts her hand on him. If this... It's easier. It's an easier path. It's not any stronger. It's not any weaker. But it is seductive. And it is an end to a means. You have a choice. The Jedi, she turns back to you, would want you to cut off all ties with your family and your friends, because these are avenues for anger and for hate that could cause you to fall further down the path. The Sith would have you embrace these and to use this as fuel for your progression. The choice is up to you. I can teach you both. I can teach you one or the other. It's up to you. It's just that I've taught many on both the light and the dark. I've seen students go from one side to the other and back again. But this is your path, and you have to choose.
Like looks up at her, and she can tell that she's like visibly holding back tears, and says, "I feel ashamed for what just happened, but I did warn them. I will protect my family. They've always been there for me, even now with all the things that have happened over the last few months. The reason that we're here was because they cared, and I can't abandon them. I will go and train with you, but I can't sever all ties. I'm not sure what that means for my future at this point, and I don't know if I'm in the right place to make a decision, but I have to admit I'm not ready to leave them and sever ties completely."
And this is why the Jedi normally take their recruits when they're very young, before very intense attachments are made. And they take them away from everything they know and their families, and they train them in almost a solitude within their order. So it is up to you. I will continue to train you if that's what you wish. And later on down the road, if you wish to join the order, then that is something you will have to prove to them, that your attachments are not a detriment or a trigger.
Lashara says, "I understand. I don't think I can make that decision right now, but thank you, Master, and I would love to continue my training, even if the sole focus is to be able to control my emotions, so this level of disaster doesn't happen again."
I don't see it as a disaster. It is simply a choice, and it worked, so it's not a failure. It's just a different path.
I truly need to wrong this evil that has just occurred. These people came here to kill my parents. And I understand that my goal, if I want to be a Jedi, would be to accept that potential loss and move on as the will of the Force. But at this moment, I can't do that. I need to find out who these people are, why they attacked my family, and if there's further risk to them. And that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. With that, she stands up and shimmers out of existence.
Flash is going to get back on the comm and ask Dodd, "Have you guys found anything on the bodies?"
I rolled a 30 on gather information.
Yeah, I think it's just a simple perception roll.
Perception would be 29.
Yeah, most of your perceptions are crazy. Find various items. They all have like blaster rifles on them, but they all have this little device that has like these two feeders on, and there's a little dot in the middle. And when you wave it, every time you point toward the dining room, it lights up, or it gets brighter, and then it gets dimmer and brighter and dimmer.
I think I found a tracker, Lashara.
If a crew finds one of these, he would absolutely be following it to see exactly where it goes.
Yeah. Anyone else does the same thing, winds up in the dining room pointing right at Kaylin, her father.
Haku's going to get to the point of like trying to find out exactly where on his body the signal is strongest.
It's once you get near him, it's all the same. It's like a genetic tracker.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So in the Mandalorian, it kind of beeps and like almost like with a heartbeat. This is just a tracker for it.
So can I walk in and just be like, "Hey, I found one of these on a guy outside. What is it?"
As you walk in, Haku's pointing at, like, going over it like a wand over Galen's body.
Holy crap! What happened in here?
Yeah, it's
Guy's missing heads.
I was upset.
Yeah, I'm sure Haku is, only the mildest level of sympathetic to Lash's plight, because he's just like, yeah, so you cut off some people's heads.
Yeah. But he's also picked up that you're not a big fan of this, and he's also picked up that people are like, yeah, Haku kills people. So he's like, yeah, sure, it was me, whatever.
Yeah.
So at this point, like, you guys have rolled really well on trying to find stuff on the bodies. It doesn't seem like you found anything that would indicate a criminal organization or family that would be doing this. So the next thing that Lash would attempt to do is just ask her parents if they know who has a vendetta of some type against them. So she's gonna do that.
Okay.
Mother, father, do you have any idea why someone would go to this level to assault the family?
Galen doesn't know. Your father says it could be multiple people if they're trying to acquire my stakes in agriculture or whatever he's in. That's basically been your family fortune. That's all I can think of. But there's so many that would always be picking at the estate, especially if I've been down for as long as I've been down. They would start to move in and want to take over, knowing that your mother is not a diplomat or a businesswoman, that it would be very easy to convince her or trick her into selling off this or that or letting them take over, that sort of thing. And she kind of just shakes her head like, yeah, I don't know anything about business.
Okay. So she says, with the money I just gave you, the money I just donated with the family, is it enough to get us back on our feet and get some security in here right away? Yeah. I want to find out who did this, but I don't feel that we can leave without, the household being back in order and security being the level that it should be.
Right. Dodd, make a. There's no intelligence roll, is there? Idea roll or something like that. I guess it'd just be your intelligence.
Okay. All right. So
social sciences.
Roll and then add intelligence to it.
Yeah, add your intelligence bonus.
Okay.
I can't think of anything else.
14.
That's good enough. You think this tracker can be hacked. You think you could find out if it's coded to someone, then it's probably got a return.
I look at it with my goggles and see if I could see like an RF signal or like some sort of indication that it's transmitting.
No, it's not. It's doing like a transmission, but you think it's to the genetic person. It's the person's coded to genetically, but you think it might be able to be programmed for different genetic codes. So you might be able to get it on something to read it and to see where the bounty was supposed to be going to or from.
Okay.
So
meanwhile, go ahead.
Maybe you use computer, hop back in the ship and get to the Wi-Fi or whatever.
Right. Not a great roll. 26.
That's pretty good. The name you come up with is... where'd he go? And of course. Hosk.
Haask.
Hosk.
Oh, okay.
And the last name is Ovla. O-V apostrophe L-Y-A.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay. I'll truck back down the ramp, give my nod at HK, and go back to the dining room where everybody's kind of circling around the injured parents.
Okay.
Lash, this has got to be your call. My guess is that we need to load everybody up into that big steel ship outside and get up into orbit or something like that before more of this happens. Because if they had the resources to make this happen, they're going to follow up.
She says, I partially agree. I think we should get mother and father off-world for now, but I'm going to stay and protect the house. If anybody wants to stay with me, they can. I just have the feeling that this isn't over, and until we get security back here, I don't want to endanger my family's belongings.
Gotcha.
I'm happy to stay until you have further... Till you get anybody else in here. I'll stay with you.
Okay. Sorry, Mary. Please continue.
No, that's it.
I am also willing to stay. Could we not just put them in orbit where it circles the planet until...
A ship without a crew would not stand up to any kind of combat that came its way. It needs to be crewed in order for us to be able to defend it. So just simply being in a vessel in space, sure, there's some space, but these people are better protected with us.
Well, at most, the ship needs pilot, which is Nanat, and 2 gunners, and then that is all stations.
Until anything actually happens, you don't need a mechanic to fix anything. So.
And even then, Leto can substitute.
Mm-hmm. And worst comes to worst, you're in orbit, so you get back down to planet side.
Okay.
Nanat comes in and looks around. This is a mess.
Hey.
He looks at the... Oh, somebody just left.
Nope.
Oh, he's back.
Nope.
There we go.
I don't know what happened there.
Teleporting Andrew.
He looks at the tracker device. He says, "Why not just claim the bounty?"
Because that's his parents.
Why not
I
just
see what you're
claim
saying.
the bounty?
Yeah,
Right,
I like what you're thinking.
Because he says you can read these things, you could tell who's paying the bounty, and just take it
I've
right
got
back
it
to
already.
them. Oh well. Yeah.
By the way, what is your father's name?
Galen.
Galen? It is a pleasure to meet you, sir. Your daughter is fantastic. What do you know about a name Hosk?
When you say Hosk, he kind of furrows his brow a little bit, but her mother does a little gasp, and he looks at her, and she looks back up at him. She goes, "It couldn't be because of that."
Yeah. And then I repeat the name that is associated with Hosk.
The whole name, yeah. Oh,
The whole name.
She turns to Galen. She says, "You don't think it's because of that, do you? He wouldn't be moving in right now. I mean, that was years ago. Another life." Galen says, "Well, he could be." And he kind of looks over to Losh and he says, "This may be a long time coming. He's always been sort of a thorn on our side, financially and politically, but he was actually, your mother was actually betrothed to him, and she broke the bonding to marry me when you were born. So he may be coming after all of this."
Okay, so there's... Rora is sitting there watching this conversation in that way that a cat
Everyone's-
watches something invisible, you
Everyone's doing that.
back and forth. And then when he says that, she's like, like she's excited.
The crew like leans over and goes, "What is bonding?"
Okay. What kind of leverage do you think we need in order to take this person out of the frame?
Galen says he's pretty prominent, but you know, this sort of stuff that just happened to me happens quite a bit on Bothwy. There's political assassinations, there's takeovers, it's all hostile. It's not uncommon.
What about the authorities? Can they do anything?
They are probably, in most of these cases, the authorities are delayed through some sort of payoff, and when they show up, it's usually to ascertain the situation, make a report, and then that report, if it's not a body brought back, then the word of the target being killed gets back to the person who set it all out.
So you think this is a legal bounty?
No.
Okay.
He says this feels personal.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they had killed me, then the authorities would show up and make a report that I was dead, and it would get back to him, and he would call it off because he's succeeded in his adventure.
So Lash like stands up and she gets right in front of her father and she crosses her arms as like almost like, you know, a rebelling little teenager and she says, "Well then, Father, what would you have us do?"
He says, "I don't know." And you hear Jenna's voice behind you say, "There is a way that we can make it look like your father is dead without hurting him." And she says, "We haven't gone over this. It's called a forced trance. And it will seem like the subject is deceased, and they won't need air or food or water for a very long time while they're in this trance."
You think this might lure out whoever is responsible?
Galen says it would cause him to call off any further attempts. He says, those things.
The bounty as well.
He says those things are just coded to genetics, not to a life force. So they don't record whether I'm dead or alive.
So we're suggesting take the money and run, but I mean, you know, you will be brought out of the trance at some point, and he'll know that he's been conned.
Nanat says,
which at this point I don't care one tiny bit.
Nanat says, "Then kill him and take his assets."
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Like you do on Bothwy.
I like that
Galen
idea.
goes, that would put us back on our feet. Completely. He says,
Lash looks over at Jenna.
He says, "I could do that." It would take a couple weeks, but yeah.
Well, yeah, Lash looks over at Jenna and says,
Did he freeze?
Dot, dot, dot.
Did he freeze?
Dot, 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 dot.
Okay, he froze for other people too. I'm like, did I die again?
You froze up, Eric, if you could hear us.
Bathroom break. All right.
Smoke them if you got them.
See, this is the problem. The universe doesn't want us playing 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
So I get randomly disconnected.
Yep.
He freezes.
So stoked that we were going to play 2 weeks in a row.
We spent an hour
There he is.
and a half talking about 3D printers.
There was a pretty wicked storm that rolled through here. I thought our power was going to go out.
"Where did I drop?"
You look at Jenna.
You look at Jenna.
Yeah, so I look at Jenna and I say, "Master, I think I might have pushed my whole crew to the dark side." I was talking about just dropping this guy.
The crew hasn't said shit.
Yeah. Jenna says he's not an innocent if he's calling out a hit on someone to murder them. So I don't think you've pushed anyone to the dark side. She says, especially if this is how things are done on Bothwy. This is how things are done on Bothwy.
So she looks at
Out of-
Dodd.
Out of character, I just love how brutally savage the way that Nana brought it up, though. That we will take him. It is the way of Bathwi.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's a bounty
go
hunter.
ahead.
He's a bounty hunter. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is.
I think we should do both. So long as mother and father are okay with going into the trance, we will.
She says, why do I have to go in the trance? They weren't after me. She says, I think I could put on a good show. I'll cry a lot.
Well,
He's the one
that would
that's tied to
probably
the
work.
money, right? He's
Right.
the. Okay, so.
And she says, I'll talk
And
to the
the-
authorities so you guys don't have to, so you're not seen if you want to get out of here while they show up.
I don't
And you're
know.
not worried about them coming back and doing what they were going to do after they killed him, which is asking you to hand over all the money?
They would do it, but they would do it financially, money wise. Is that what you're
I
talking
mean, there
about?
were courts and
They're not coming to
things.
rob them. They're not coming to rob them.
No, I know, but like, how would she put them off? Handing over the company or the assets? Like, wasn't that the whole plan, that they were going to get rid of him and then she would have to give them everything?
Well, then,
If she's not good at running it, how is
on
she going to handle that?
then that guy would eventually rope her out of all her money, make her sign over assets and things like that.
Yeah, on Bothwy, generally speaking,
Buy her out, basically.
Yeah, the patriarch of the family is in control of the assets.
Right.
And if there's a different patriarch in another family that wants to take over, when there's no male in control, it's easy for them to do so.
Yeah.
Right, no, I understand that. What I'm saying is that if we're going to pretend that he's dead,
Right.
what is her strategy for not giving in to them if they come back looking for the money?
Oh. Not says, then kill him tomorrow and be done with it. Make it quick.
And if we're going to kill him and take his assets anyway, we don't need the ruse on second thought. She looks over at Jad and says,
The
"You
Nazi
ready
ears
to
go,
use that big? You ready to use that big gun, Jad?"
It's been set up for the past 20 minutes. Yeah.
She looks back at Dodd and says, "This is justice, right?"
This is taking care of our people. That's what this is.
A crew.
Is reloading.
Crew's reloading.
This is family. It's not actually a question.
Is this one of those like everybody sticks their hand in the ring moments?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Like again, you're like Hakuru's like mid cartridge change, checking his gun, just like
Like the inspirational music starts coming up at this point.
Yeah. Nanat says, why not collect the bounty and say your piece to him, and then Jad and I can fly up outside or wherever he's at and shoot the hell out of the place.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Can you guys give me an hour or two to kind of put together some plans for where this guy might be and get some floor plans? And I'd also like to look at his finances and see if there's any other leverage we can offer him too. If we don't have to kill him, it'd be great. But, we could blackmail him. We could extort him some other way. We could hold some sort of leverage over him. But ultimately, if you think he's going to keep coming at you, we've got to take him out of the frame somehow.
Boy, what a wet blanket, Dodd.
I know. Sorry.
Galen says he probably will keep. If he's waited 30 years or whatever it's been to
How
do
old are you?
this, he's going to keep coming.
Yeah.
25 years,
So-
whatever, a year or two before.
Yeah. Lash is going to look at Dodd and say, I like the way this is being planned out. Can you take care of the rest of this, Dodd, for my family? I am going to stay here with my mother. If we're going to put him into a Jedi trance, I need to to monitor him through the Force. You can take the rest of the crew, take care of the plans, and I will again stay here with the family for protection.
Yeah, if that's how you want to play it, I'm good with it. Let's do it. I think collecting the bounty would be a lot easier if we had a body, though.
Sure. I mean, all we have to do is put him into a trance and alert the authorities. They'll arrive, and this will make the media reports within the hour.
Yeah. Problem is, what about when he makes his miraculous recovery? How do you explain that away and maintain a positive business yield in the future?
That's Ferengi business. The closest thing these people are is the Ferengi.
Come on,
so
Quark.
how many people have faked? The Negus faked his death. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It
multiple
happens.
times.
Yeah. So I don't think it would. It would probably give him more clout that he faked his death and took out his political assassin, and then going back in, he's probably a tougher, got more street cred or whatever, for that sort of ploy.
What a masterful ploy.
Yeah,
Got it.
it hasn't been done in a while. The Galen says no one's done that in a long time. Fake their death,
but
but it's happened.
before.
Yeah.
Let's collect up all these trackers. Do you want me to leave HK here? Because
Yes.
I'd really rather have Jad than HK on this.
Yeah. If you leave HK here, between the droid and I think we can handle any other assault. And I'll work on getting the household security back online and getting some guards here right away.
For what it's worth, I'm not in favor of splitting up the party. Because that tends to leave people out in the cold for a long period of time, Eric.
I've been in a lot of spotlight lately, and that's actually why I'm doing it.
Okay.
Nanat says you don't want to say anything to his face before we kill him.
I just look at Nanat.
He's like, I would. I'd love to say something.
I'm gonna pull out my slug thrower and pull out one of the bullets from it. Take it over to Lash and say, "Here, write his name on this, or from Lash. I'll make sure he gets it."
Question:
Yeah, she does.
Are all the bounty hunters that were here Bothans?
Yes.
Hakru's going to mention. It looks like he only deals with Bothans. We may need a Bothan to deal back.
I look at Lashara's mother.
Nanat says, oh yeah, they're all Bothans, aren't they?
Does she?
We've got Rura.
That is opposite to Bothan, as far as I've been told.
Yeah, she's furry.
I think I got a pretty strong resemblance.
Green.
We just need to
Antennae.
Long
maybe
nose.
like a body
No
wig,
fur.
Yeah.
maybe.
Kalen says you could probably get some face masks and stuff and hats and stuff and show up with Lash and she could talk to him.
We could be Lash's crew.
She's got a
So
very...
you-
That's what I meant. We would need a Bothan face, as Dodd puts it, so that way we could deal with Bothan business. That is only Dodd. You when you have when there's an obstacle to plan. What he's gesturing, looking for the word.
Lash just says, "Okay, I understand. I will come with you, but we have to make sure that the family and the assets are secure before we go and do this."
Yes.
You know, they seem to be. You know, this strike occurred when they thought our family was at its weakest, and you know they don't know that we've recovered,
Right.
and they may be back.
Then why don't the rest of us, get in our ship and go into orbit? We'll do whatever research we need to do on this person, find out where they Liv, get some floor plans, find out if our idea of having the helicopter right next to the building with the gun would work. And if it does, I'm all for it. And let's put together a plan. In that time, hopefully you can alert the authorities, get some media coverage, then we'll pick you up and we'll put you in a disguise and you can come collect the bounty. How's that sound?
Prove.
Nanat says, I could fly you back to the hotel and you can go get gear in the morning. And then I can stay in orbit or land back over at the starport. And stay
I just
with
don't
the
know
ship.
how. Yeah, I mean, I could really use a good night's sleep, to be honest. I say as I'm looking at the blood that I'm leaving on the floor.
And I say
Yeah.
Rora looks down and remembers that she got shot and goes, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Adrenaline is a magic drug.
So we can go now, and I'll drop you guys off at the hotel. I'll stay on the ship at the spaceport. You guys can do the planning throughout the night or in the morning and get your gear, and then we'll be ready to go. Or
Okay.
Jad can stay with me, too, if he wants to stay on the ship, if we're going to split up and do it that way. We could show up later.
So now we're going to split into 3 groups. Even better.
But for a shorter
Sometimes-
period of time.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it makes sense.
Yeah. So
Okay.
with that, you guys are standing there finishing up your talk, and Kaylin pulls up her communication pad or whatever, and she hits a button and says, you hear a voice say, this is whatever security. And she starts crying and goes, my husband has been killed. Please come immediately. Beep, and hangs up.
Wow. The intergalactic
She says,
award goes too.
We've got to get you up in the bed. That's where we would put you if you'd been killed.
I'll give him a hand.
And so Galen gets up and starts heading upstairs with Lash. Hakaru says, all right, let's go. Starts
right.
walking out the door, and
Lash
Gets
takes
on the ship.
the holocron with her to
I
get
think he meant
instructions on how to do this.
no, sorry.
Okay, because Hakru's gonna want to because like Hakru sees this as laying a trap,
Yeah.
so he's gonna get like he's gonna fill like a cup with some Bothan blood, and then when Caden goes to lay down, he's just gonna like pour it around him so it looks like he's bleeding out.
He's been pretty banged up. He's got a hole in his clothing in his chest, so it's easy to just like pour it right in the hole. And
Right, we've stopped that bleeding though. So like over on the side, I'm gonna make it look like that's where he's been bleeding out from.
okay. She says you guys have about 2 minutes before they're going to get here. So she kind of
He hands the cup.
She takes the cup weirdly and walks away and starts heading up the stairs.
As I'm walking out, HK,
Yes,
you see Lashara inside?
yes.
No more than 6 meters away from her at any time. She's alive when I come back.
He turns around and jank, 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 jank.
Up the ramp.
Okay. Ship takes off. And about a minute later, here come the security forces from the city.
So is Jenna capable of putting them in the trance, or is this something Lash is going to have to do?
Yeah. While you guys are upstairs, she goes over it real quick of how to do it. It's just a full round action. You place an adjacent willing ally that you touch into a force trance with a DC 15 use the force check.
Oh, jeez. I automatically passed that.
Also, each hour the target remains
21.
in the trance, the target regains a number of hit points equal to the character level.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I
You
forgot
can
about
bring
this.
the adjacent ally you touch out of a force trance as a swift action, but the target cannot otherwise come out of the trance on his own or of their own will. If they remain in the force for 4 consecutive hours, the target emerges from the force trance fully rested as though he'd rested 8 hours.
Awesome.
While
Okay.
the target ally is in the force trance, they can go 10 times as long without air, food, or water. So yeah, that's a pretty nifty
Is this
thing.
something that I know enough without Jenna to be able to add to my own skill set, or
Yeah,
is this something that?
This is under use the force.
Okay.
So she just had to tell you how to do it, and it's a quick little with a DC 15. It's super You're just sort
So
of.
this isn't something that requires like advanced training, skill points, and none of that stuff.
Nope.
Okay.
So you make your roll. Your father lays there, and he sticks his tongue out too, like make it look good, and he just falls over. It looks like he's dead. His heart's. You have to really concentrate and wait for it for the heart to. But it's no breath, no nothing.
Cool.
And she says you might want to put me away on the table or something. I can sort of keep an eye on things too.
Okay. Yeah. So she finds a good hiding place for the holocron in a local or a little ornate desk nearby.
Yep. And the authorities arrive. They start coming into the building, and your mother shouts out, "We're up here!" And they come in, and it's a security force, the police, and they're looking around, start asking her questions. She starts going over. These men came in and attacked us, and my droid and my daughter were able to fend them off. And she just starts crying, and she puts her hands on him and like lays down on the bed, sobbing. And they kind of comfort her a little bit, and they take her name and start like holo-viding scanning the room and everything for an image to put out and things like that. Eventually,
Like forensic study and all that kind of.
yeah. Eventually, the morgue comes and picks up all the bodies. They don't do any cleanup, but they remove everything and take it off. It takes about about an hour. It's not. They're pretty fast, and they're done. And you wait around a little bit longer, and if you're monitoring news feeds, it suddenly goes out that Galen Caffrey's been killed in his home. His wife surviving and his daughter surviving, and that's about it. Our daughter and other siblings who are off planet survived.
I did put her younger brother and younger sister on our spreadsheet of character information. Okay. They're up there. Just so you guys know.
Probably put them in the
brother is Morgar Carfe. They're obviously both younger. She was the first one born.
Yeah.
He's very proper, and he's currently at the military academy. He is on planet, but it's he's almost unreachable because he's in a military academy. And then the sister is Harilar, and she is friendly with Lash, but she is in medical school off-world.
Okay. I thought you had 3 sisters you mentioned, but I could be wrong. And I thought they were so young that they went to your grandparents who were off-world.
Okay.
We'll have to look up the... it's in the prelude. It's just a one line where you throw it out. So,
okay.
So an hour goes by. They all take up and leave. And your mother says, maybe we should leave him like this until your friends are successful or you're successful, just in case. She says, I can start... funeral arrangements and things like that just to make a show of it, but
we can leave him lying in state and get like a sealed glass container here.
Yep, she says that it's all doable. So you guys will do a wipe to the ship flying up to the penthouse and hovering while the ramp comes down, and you guys are able to get into your suite. And Nanat says, Chad, do you want to stay here? Do you want to go with me in case there's trouble?
Yeah, I'll go with you and make sure everything's set up back here.
He says, it'd probably be a good idea if you got some sort of mounting system on the ramp. And that way you could shoot out the front when you need to instead of only out the cargo bay.
That's an idea. We'll need to get another tripod, I think.
Probably.
Or a detachable tripod.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. He says maybe...
Our crew can fix that.
Maybe Rura could
not her.
Put things in the floor that pop up and it locks in.
Yeah.
But we could do that tomorrow. And the ramp pulls up and the ship flies off a couple miles to the spaceport and lands in its spot. So you guys are in your rooms, luxury rooms again, huge. Whatever you want to do.
Take that.
Okay. Dodd, make a gather information roll, or use computer. I'm sorry, use computer roll.
I rolled a 12,
That's probably like
so
20.
32.
32. He is not hard to find. His building is in the heart of the city, and as looking at it on the screen, you slowly turn around, and outside the window, you see his tower. It's very much like a tree almost, with globes that are off the end, and he stays at the top. It's his office space and home and whatever is all in one. And it's this gigantic thing that goes up and has these spheres. It's in a sphere itself, so...
I'm going to log that away
organic.
under, you're not going to believe this, but
Yeah.
here it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to look to see if I can't find any plans. And I'm going to try to cover up that I'm searching for floor plans along the
Okay.
way.
Yeah, go ahead and roll again. It's going to be like a 35 or something like that to get this.
No problem. I rolled a 1.
Uh-oh.
Can't find him.
Okay.
Can't find him. You do locate a
Security
picture.
on these plans are ridiculous.
You do locate a picture of from his, I guess, website to be better. It's his lobby with couches and stuff in it, and there's a desk with an attendant, and there's big doors behind her, and that's all you can find.
That looks really comfortable.
Yeah, it's very organic. Everything looks natural. There's no straight angles or anything like that. It's all very curved.
Okay. It's like they grew a palace.
Yeah.
How tall is it? How many stories? Like, just guessing, 100? Like,
Yeah, with being future space, it's probably like 150 stories,
okay.
and you're like on a 100-story building, so it's
And I'm at the top.
it's
no
not
less.
it's not the biggest structure in the city, but it's right up there.
Okay. So just walking in and killing this guy, probably not going to be as easy as we think.
He probably does have guards, you would think.
Yeah, he's got a Death Star full of guards.
Yeah. But hopefully, if
All
you're coming
right.
back with the bounty pucks, and if it's
We can get an audience.
another Bothan,
Yeah.
it'll probably be easier.
All right, I am going to gather information again
Okay.
and see if I can find out if this guy's got any enemies.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
18 plus 8 is 36 plus 2, so 38.
Yeah, he's made as many friends as he has made enemies over his lifetime.
Okay.
He's one of the top 5 businessmen, wealthiest people on the planet, that sort of thing.
How does he compare to Lashara's dad?
I want to say they were in the top 20 before he sort of went under. So he's probably out of the 20 right now, the Caffreys are.
Okay, so basically if the Caffreys move in on this, they're moving up in station.
Probably. Most definitely.
Huh.
And
God, I wish that...
You don't think
I wish there was...
you
Go
don't-
ahead, I'm sorry.
You don't think they'd be able to acquire all of his assets? The others would probably start piranhas coming after it too, but it would definitely
Yeah,
probably
I'm
put him in
gonna-
the top 10.
All right, again, trying to hide what I'm searching. I'm going to look to see if other people, like how other people have accomplished what we're thinking about doing.
Bothan history, you want to say it was like 50 years ago, something like this happened where there was a big coup and they used the fake death sort of thing. But
Okay.
other than that, it happens a lot with hostile takeovers, people being ransomed, all kinds of stuff. It's
Yeah, but this is
very
this
fringy.
is revenge murder. So I don't know.
It's very cutthroat, very cutthroat.
Oh, it's extremely cutthroat.
So it's not unheard of, and it's not
And
while,
so,
while
like,
it's not
society-
sanctioned. It's not. It's expected in a way.
Okay,
That if someone tries to
society
kill
just
you, you can
kinda
come after them.
looks the other way.
It would
The
have.
self-defense plea, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And the other person 50 years ago wound up taking over most of the assets, and they were fine. So
God, it's a miracle anybody's alive on this planet.
Business clout went straight up, and they wound up running the. They made the starport what it is today. That sort of thing.
I'm going to look at the bounty hunter charts really quick.
Okay.
And see if this was something that was even attempted to be put through a legitimate bounty lines.
Go ahead and roll.
Gather information. Okay. 26.
It'd be a used computer, so just go ahead and use your roll with your used computer.
That's what I just
gather information is if you're talking to people, I believe.
Okay, 26.
It has not gone out even out of the city. It's almost like it was targeted to a few groups on the planet.
Some people who have the ethics that they were looking for.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like a couple guilds.
We didn't get the impression from their fighting style that these guys were particularly professional either.
You did.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They all had swords and blaster rifles. They seemed... They weren't all dressed the same, but they were... They shot you guys up pretty good. Some of you.
Yeah.
And to whip out a sword with a... You didn't see it, but to whip out a sword and go hand-to-hand with Lashar was pretty impressive.
That's remarkable, yeah. Okay.
And we have to like remember that the time frame of all these events. I don't know that anything has been documented. The Bothans that we know from our era of Star Wars, it could be a whole different world in the 900 years or so difference.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to look into how to I'm hoping that I gathered a few of these trackers.
You gathered all of them, you said.
Okay. I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to open it up and see if I can figure out how to attenuate it to my DNA or whatever. If I'm going to go inside of the Tree of Life looking for a bad guy and I got Jad with a giant-ass gun hanging from a spaceship, I'm going to want him to know where I am.
Okay. Yeah. It occurs to you. It occurs to you that if you brought I don't want to tell you what to do this, but if you were for the second I thought you were going to try and pose as a dead body and.
Oh no!
Because he probably has his own tracker keyed to his genetics. But yeah, if you want to do that for yourself, if you want to do that for all of you, you can do that as well. Carry a little.
I feel like
chain
I'd be
necklace
putting
of
other people. Right. I feel like I'd be putting other people in harm's way if I attenuated trackers to their DNA. I'll take the risk.
Okay. Yeah, it's not hard at all. You can wipe it.
Okay.
I'll tell you when to duck.
Right. No, I don't know when to duck.
Dude, that's such a good idea
Yeah.
because I can see him with a gun in the mount and he can fire so long he's not getting the beep.
Right. Well, more importantly, we're inside of a structure that's 150 stories high. Right.
Yeah.
Not knowing for sure where we are.
Right.
If I can place myself between the target and the ship, then there's a chance he could target that.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping. Right. And also, I hope to stay alive. There's also that.
I picture this. I picture these instructions to Jad. And I'm not trying to be totally mean to Jad, but I picture these instructions as Rocket trying to tell Groot about pressing the button. Or not pressing the button.
No, it's not the right button.
Don't shoot the red dot.
I just said that. The thing with these things is it's a directional ping. It doesn't give distance or anything, and these things only work out to a kilometer. So I just want to say if you're on the other side of the structure, if we're looking down on it, if you're over here, it would still ping. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm going to
But several of you guys have scopes on rifles that you might be able to use even from this vantage point to look at the building if you wanted and to see in the morning.
Oh yeah, no. No one's asked Hakru, but between Hakru's scope and abilities, he can probably see from inside us to inside them and maybe make that shot.
If the guy happens to be standing in the right place.
Right.
Yeah, if he's in view of a window. The range on this sniper rifle, when I aim, is ridiculous.
You heard about what happened to Alderaan?
I'm
That was
shooting
me.
low orbit, is what I'm doing.
Okay,
So
I'm going to gather up my things and walk down the hall to Aurora's room and knock on the door.
she answers the door in a turban towel, wrapped in a towel.
I was gonna say, if you've never seen a cat in a bathrobe, you have now.
Wow. Is this a good time?
Yeah, it's fine. What's up?
Excellent. And I kind of shoulder my way into your room, and I sit down at the
You
whatever
shove
the
her,
table
but
is there.
like her chest is here, and you're like shoving past her slowly.
How tall are you? Like 7 feet tall?
Yeah.
Okay. So I sit down and I put the trackers out, and I take the one that's attuned to me, and I put it to the side, and I have my tablet here, and I go, okay, Rua, here's what I want to do. I want to have something that I can give the ship to pinpoint target this. Any ideas?
You mean like you want to make its signal stronger, or give the ship a different way to sense the signal?
I think we need to reformat how this bug works, but it's got to have the ability to. So I've attuned this to my DNA. It can find me, right? All the rest of these are attuned to find Lashara's dad. We're going to use these pucks to collect the bounty, right? Or at least get an audience with the honcho. Once we're in that room with the honcho, I want Jad to be able to use this to know exactly where I am so that he can target the honcho.
Okay.
And you're an engineer.
Uh-huh.
And I hand you the tablet.
Yeah. I start. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, it probably would require reconfiguring its signal, seeing if we can't get it to transmit differently so that it can be more precisely pinpointed.
The other thing that we could do is we could take one of these other pucks, maybe, and make it the receiver. And then if I could put it on this guy's desk or plant this on
I
him.
say we'd be able to try. We could figure out a way to triangulate a signal. You know, so we
Yeah.
have more than one source. Yeah.
Like, basically what I want to do is I want to paint the target with it.
Mhm.
And then they'll have a clear line of sight, and they can use the ship's blasters. They could use Jad's pintle mount. They could use a crew's sniper rifle. They could hurl a flaming Bothan out the window at him, for all I care. We just need to do something to get.
Defenestrations.
Yeah, right. What do you think?
No, I think we can figure this out.
Okay.
Um,
I don't want
what
to.
kind of-
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask Kirk what kind of die roll we
Oh.
would do at.
Well, that would be a 1d6, and anything above a 1, you win. How's that? Oh, I'm not the game master. Damn.
I would maybe scout out the building in the morning, or right now, get someone with a scope and look at the building first.
That'll be my
See?
next stop.
Before you plan too much. It might be. You might be overkilling it.
Oh. I thought it was a clever idea.
It is a clever idea, and you could probably still use it, but you might want to get her crew right now and have him see if he can see what he sees.
Okay. Do you mind thinking about this? And I'm going to go talk to her crew.
I will ponder.
Okay, thank you. And I walk out the room, and a nice robe, by the way.
Thank you. I
It's
finally
really
learned to
short.
stop bleeding.
It's like thigh length because she's squeezed into it.
And Dodd is
That's why
like
there's more
averting
towels.
his eyes the whole time. He's like looking at her and then looking away. All right, I go to her crew's room, and before I knock at the door, I go, I hope he's wearing clothes. That is her crew's room. Knocking on the door. Yeah.
The crew answers. He is also wearing a bathrobe.
Is this my night for this?
Actually,
Hey, crew.
you notice
When
these.
you look inside, you also see that there is a towel around the top of Lato's head and a robe on F7.
Yep. The robe Hakru and Rua are wearing are the exact identical, and the one she's wearing does fit her because they both got them when they got their mani-pedis. They were complimentary.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
They've got the logo of the store.
F7 was with us, so he's got his, and I didn't want Leto to feel left out, so I wrapped a towel up and I put it on top of him.
Yep.
I've got a couple of things in play, and maybe I'm overthinking this, but maybe you wouldn't understand anyway. Hey, can you grab your scope and come with me real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
And you can also see Hakru is fully clothed underneath it. The exact same clothes he was wearing. Like, he just threw the robe on over it.
I do my Dirk Benedict. All right, come with me.
Okay. Get back up to
So yeah, Hakru goes, he grabs his rifle because that's what the scope is attached to, brings the whole thing over.
Just the scope for now. I think that the whole rifle might be a little conspicuous for the hotel penthouse.
Okay, I need time to remove it then. Because it does. It takes like an hour to attach or detach a scope.
Oh, hell. Just bring the rifle.
Right. Because I think part of like attaching it is, in addition to screwing it in place, is calibrating the scope to go with it.
and electronics and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah.
Right.
Now, I don't want to, out of character, I don't want to give Hakru the sense that I think that he doesn't understand things, ever. Like, Dodd's entire MO is to take people as they are and build up and lift, right? But I'm going to carefully explain to Hakru in this instance, once we get into the room. Okay, Hakru, you see that building over there that looks like a giant tree?
The one on the left or the one on the right? Or the big one in the back?
The big one in the back.
Okay.
That's where we're going tomorrow, to go turn in this bounty and eliminate the target. Inside of that giant tree is likely thousands and thousands of people. Bothans, and many of them armed. I need to know what we can do to infiltrate and exfiltrate and accomplish our mission. What do you have, and what can you see with that scope that can help us do that?
I am not very good on the strategy side of things, as you put it. That is your big brain. I'm good at ambush and traps. I can do that, but that's more me being in the place and people coming to me. Me going in. I can describe what I see, but I don't know.
Perfect.
Okay,
Look through that scope and tell me what you see.
I can do this. Yes. I'm assuming perception.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to re-roll because I get to do that, and I'm pretty sure we want more than a 3 for this. Oh, yeah, we'll take that 18. 29.
Okay. You peer across and you see that this structure it's a large pod that's sort of off of a stalk, and it's got several smaller pods attached to it. It's all glass. So
It is not the tree.
So what you're seeing is someone's bedroom, maybe, or a spare bedroom. There's nobody in it, no lights on, and then you can kind of scoot over and you see a boardroom with like a table with lots of chairs around, and the rest is all kind of obscured. The other sphere you're seeing is like a botanical relaxation. It's got a little pool in it, that sort of thing. It's kind of steamed up a little bit, but it's all glass. So when you're in this, it probably looks like you're floating above the city in a jungle.
I see a bedroom that is empty, or at the very least, not enough light for me to see what's going on. I see a spa. Ooh, Rua would love this. We will have to stop there. I see a what was his name? Our buddy with the spaceships.
Haro?
I see that room that Haro always made us have discussions in. I see a room like that.
Okay. Is this all at the top?
Yeah.
The very top.
This is the top.
Yeah, I'm starting from the top and working my way down.
That's it. So every surface that you're seeing is glass,
Yeah. You can see
Yes, it is all. I could
transparent.
open it from here.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay, Hakuru, I'm working on a plan. Maybe take the rifle out of the window for now. Just because if you could see them, they could see you if they're looking.
No, they can't.
At any rate, I'm trying to put together a plan where we can get out of there without having to go through the elevators all the way back to the bottom. Right? I would like for the ship to be able to pick us up on the top floor, but I need for the ship to know where we are in order to act on their part of the plan.
There is so much glass, the ship could probably see right into us, but also because it is glass, they will probably hear the ship coming.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely. That's why we're going to have to... Well, that's why speed is of the most importance. So I've got Rura working right now to come up with a tracker that they can use from suborbit, where they could just come down and know exactly where we are in that structure, so that they could go straight to that point and do what they need to do. I don't know. Do you work well with Rura when it comes to technology?
Oh, we work on the ship together all the time.
Okay. I don't want to overburden either one of you, but perhaps check in on her and see if she needs a hand, because I did just kind of throw this at her without asking.
Okay. I will need to
Thanks.
let Leto and F7 know that our spa is on hold for now.
Sorry.
It is
And then I'm going to take a couple of aspirin and lay the hell down.
So yeah, first thing that happens is crew goes back to the room he was in. He lets Leto and F7 know basically A, what Dodd asked of him, B, what he saw, C, Dodd's plan about the ship, like goes over every little, like this is probably like a 10-minute thing.
Okay.
And then he hangs up his robe and goes over to Rura's room and knocks and says, Dodd said I should come over and be of assistance for you if able.
More people can't help or can't hurt. But whatever, it's cool. She's in the middle of like 4 plans and
Are you still in your robe?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, the crew immediately goes back, gets his robe, and comes right back.
You guys are too much fun.
Yeah, she's like got like these trackers and a couple of pads spread out on a coffee table.
Yeah. So I assume at this point in time, it's a matter of use computer and mechanics checks. So, Kirk, what do we got to roll?
Yep.
Yep.
Mechanics.
Mechanics? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to take the lead since you had already started this and I'm here to assist?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I got the 10.
Awesome.
So that adds just 2 to your roll.
Which brings my base roll up to 20.
Okay.
And my mechanics check 34.
Okay. So this is to change the trackers to do what?
To triangulate,
Okay.
so that way Jad or the ship, because plans change in the drop of a hat,
Right.
so the ship will know exactly where, like when we set them up, they'll know exactly where the target is.
Okay.
Right. Using multiple signals, being able to more precisely pinpoint than just a direction, being able to use
Yeah.
multiple signals to pinpoint a specific location.
Right. We would need like at least 3,
Right.
hence the
Why
term
it's called
triangulation.
Okay.
Clearly, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Exactly. We got that engineering brain going here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
we
this is-
convert 3 of them, so that
So
way.
you're triangulating where Dodd's at, right? Because that's what's going on. Because these trackers are
However you
genetically,
Right.
interpreted it.
they're
Yeah,
genetically
because we
marked.
don't have the other guy's DNA,
Right.
so we'd have to be triangulating on Dodd.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're setting up it so Jad can shoot Dodd finally.
It's gonna be through the leg. Don't worry.
I was an
The problem is
adventurer
the
just
bullet's
like
big
you.
enough that it's the whole leg.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Dodd's plan. This is what he wants. We're really good at making people happy. Let's go.
Yeah.
This is Dodd overcomplicating everything. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, I'm loving it.
Fun.
I'm absolutely loving it. Like, I'm relaxing in a robe. I got to point a gun at somebody. This is great. Let's go.
Okay, it's pretty
Anybody
easy.
listening just gets techno babble, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
So it's pretty easy to do. It just takes 3 of you to somehow stand around Dodd, and it will lock on to that. To make it, well, yeah, the next thing would be a used computer to attune your sensors to it to sort of link up.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Do you want to take the lead on the used computer? I think. you
Sure.
know that. Or at least I only just recently learned more of it. So.
Yeah, I've had it for a little while, but yeah, no big deal.
I assist.
Ooh, decent roll. Okay, so I got the 2 from you.
Mhm.
So that gives us a 31.
okay. You figure out how to do it and what to code it to. When you get to the ship, you're just going to have to transmit whatever the code is so it can pick it up.
We got it on a flash drive.
Right. Yeah. Just
Yep.
Yeah.
install and
Super easy.
Upload. Yep.
What I love about this is because like both Hakru and Rua are self-taught, intuitive mechanic and used computer. A lot of this is the thing with the stuff. Yeah, no, not that. The other one. Like that's the discuss. It is the most vague. The doodad. You got to make it jump.
And that symbol has to go underneath the one that looks like a wheelie. I don't remember, but yeah, that one.
Yeah. So it is the most like anyone listening is like they have no clue what they're doing, but it works. It's almost like orcs in Warhammer 40K. You don't know how it works, but it works, and it works really, really well.
Red.
It goes faster that way.
It does go
Yep.
faster.
Yep. All right. So it's turning into midnight when you guys finish up your stuff. If there's anything else you want to do for the night,
No, Brewer needs to get some sleep because there was that whole
Heal.
shoot thing.
what was that? Dodd?
Do some healing.
Oh, okay. So sleep. It's 8 o'clock the next morning. Recover whatever HP 8 hours affords you.
Which is
I think it's like level con.
so I took 21
correct.
points of damage.
If that's at least half of your hit points, you can use your swift wind.
What's great about that is it's not quite half.
You want me to stab you for 3?
No. So my level plus my constitution, so I get 6 back, 7 back.
I think. Let me
It's under
pull it up.
Treat injury.
Well, this would be natural healing.
It's under. Treat
What about
injury.
being on the condition track? Because I haven't been thinking about that. I went down one.
I think that comes back pretty
That
fast.
just takes time. It's literally 3 swift actions, and you move up 1, and you can just keep doing that. So
Yeah.
As long as
okay.
you have time, you can get back, unless it's a persistent condition, which it's not.
Okay.
Let's see how much- oh. Yeah, that means it's in. I think it's in the wiki and. Treat injury.
What? I love that you can search natural healing and it doesn't come up with the page. But then if you go to treat injury, there's a link to natural healing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Regains hit points equal to its character level. Period.
I just put in healing, and the first thing that came up was droid crafting.
Nice. Clever.
I mean, if you are actually like hurt, we could treat injury you, which then would get you more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
Okay.
we'll do that. We'll do a round of so before everybody goes to sleep, we'll do rounds of treat injury because Hakru's not like hurt, but he's down hit points.
Yeah. Brewer's the same way.
Yeah. I would
On
do-
the ship, we have a back to tank, right? Or
No,
something.
we
No,
don't yet.
We did.
We
We
ha-
didn't do that.
We have a fully stocked medical bay, which makes healing through treat injury and surgery more productive.
Yeah. So
Okay.
who's
so
going
once
to do
it's 24
first?
hours,
Who's
yeah,
gonna,
you can make a treat injury check.
who's going to do first aid?
I'll do first aid on Dodd. I will need somebody else to do it on me so that I can heal.
So DC 15, treat injury,
And then it's
character
for
level.
every point above that, he gets additional 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I rolled a 10 plus. Where the hell did my? There's the link. Here we go. So 21.
And if you're
So
using a med kit,
So it'd be your character level plus 6.
oh yeah, I have a med kit left.
you get +2,
Okay, so that's 23.
So it'd be your character level plus 8.
8.
Okay.
So that's 14, I believe. To
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm down minus 7.
7.
It's not bad. All right.
I don't have a great treat injury. I also would benefit from a treat injury check.
Okay.
Okay, I have literally one more med pack that's actively on me. I can use it on you.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I just need somebody to treat injury on me. Because I'm not down that far. Like, I'm down, 16. So, the most minimal will help me.
Yeah.
I've got a 5 in the skill and it's untrained.
Yeah. It's got to be trained, I think.
Yeah, it does have to be trained to treat injury. All right, so I've got 11,
Not
2.
do first aid, I didn't think.
Oh, not to do first aid?
But he could do. He could take a 10 on it. Yeah, he could take a 10 on it and instead of
You can
rolling.
take 10 to safety and just get.
Yeah.
Well, that would only give you 15, so that would just give you an extra 15.
Oh, yeah.
But then you still rest, and that
Right.
also then stacks on it. So at that point in time, Dodd's only down 1.
Right.
But yeah, if I get 2 character levels, I'll be down 5 hit points. Not the end of the world, but if I can get them, that'd be great. You 12 plus 2 plus 11,
25.
25. So
So I get 10 back. Okay,
you get character level plus 10, so 16.
cool. That plus the natural healing brings me down to less than 10.
Okay.
I'm down less than 10 hit points, so that's fine.
Awesome.
Okay. Hakru, walk me through this. I'll do what I can. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah,
We're going
so-
to take our time with this.
And you can do it to your. You can do it to yourself. It's just a -5 penalty.
So does anybody have better than a 6 on treat injury?
Nope.
No, mine's only a 3, so you're better off.
Okay. If Hakru's
Yeah, it does.
who has a healing pack? Because Hakru used both of his remaining
Oh.
on you guys. Otherwise,
What?
I do have a higher.
I do,
That's
but
what
I'm
I
on the
thought.
ship.
yeah, but we left you with your parents.
Yeah.
Shara could have just
Again,
waved the
I'm
magic
checking
wand
the-
and we would have been fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have a med pack, so
You have that pack? Awesome, cool. That gives me a +8. Awesome.
I have a security kit, so if your droid parts aren't working,
Oh, awesome. Okay, so I rolled a 15 plus 8, so I get character level plus 8. That's 14. My rest, I'm full.
Yeah. No one else has first aid.
yeah.
Wow, it's
Yeah.
just
No one else is
it's
trained
just
in it.
me and Lash.
Yeah. Yep. That's all right. It's all good.
I mean, I carry 3 on me at all times
Yeah.
because, just in case.
Okay.
So before we go, I want to stop off at at our med bay, and I want to pick up 3.
Okay.
3.
Yeah, and I'll want to replenish mine.
Okay. You
We
could also
gotta
go
pick up
shopping
Lash.
the next day too. So while you're shopping for
Oh, we
gear,
go shopping
cover-
the next day?
Yeah. I thought that was a
Oh,
plan to
okay.
get gear to cover your face so no one knows you're not a Bothan.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
And somebody
Really?
somebody wants to get a tripod for his eWeb, an additional tripod. So so the next morning, and get your healing for your 8 hours of sleep.
Yep.
And
so-
you guys get a call from the Knot on the ship, and he says, "Are you guys going shopping?"
Yes.
We were planning on it, yes.
we can meet you at the plaza or whatever it is.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. You guys eat. An hour later, you're all meeting up at the shopping plaza or whatever it's called. It's a huge place. It's got almost everything you can think of. This is a big spaceport city, so I would say, looking around, this would be a gather information to find the things you're wanting, because you're talking to people, you're asking directions, that sort of stuff. DC would be
Looking
like a
for
15.
my,
Yeah.
I'm looking for my Mando armor.
Okay. Sure you don't want to look for a tripod while you're first?
You know, the Mando's armor is top of his head all the time when he goes shopping. But he didn't get it.
65 would be the difficulty for that. So go ahead and roll for your tripod.
Oh, man. Not good again. Yeah, where's it? There it is. Oh, man, it's only an 11. Nope.
No one
Do you
can sell.
explain to me what you're looking for?
Yeah.
I think I want to have some clips that we can mount into either end of the ship, and we can move the tripod around rather than having multiple tripods. That way we don't trip over it or it gets in the way. So we got to figure out a mechanical catch and release system.
Can I help him look
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
something between those two things? Because I got a 23 on the gather information.
You find the clips, and you find someone who has an old eWeb tripod in a secondhand store, but he doesn't have anything else. That's the only part he has.
Awesome. That's
so it's
good enough.
really cheap. It's like 100 credits for everything, and it's all done.
Right.
The gear, the clothing is going to be like 15 credits for like breather masks that cover your whole face, a helmet, or maybe a hood or whatever. However you want to look.
Well, yeah, because a crew's got a breather mask and a hooded poncho. That's gonna be a question. Like, and the only thing I don't have is a helmet, and that's what he was gonna buy, and he was gonna get one with a comm installed inside of it.
Yeah, I'm assuming you all have earpiece comms instead of the
right.
You guys got the fancy high-end one, so.
I also have a wrist unit
Okay.
that is a long range, like a specifically purchased shrunk long range communicator on the wrist.
Because I think you all went out and bought the long-range secure earpiece comm links for everybody. I thought after Rural woke up.
Yeah, I got those.
we did.
Wait,
I got those
I don't know
back
if it was the long range ones because those are like usually backpack sized, so shrinking them was harder. I don't remember though. I know we got secure ones. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I went and got them all when we were at Haro's place.
Yeah.
Right before I was handing them out, right as his building blew up.
Yeah, I don't think they reach to planet side to space, but they're within kilometers. I think it's like 100 kilometers. Yeah. All
I
right.
think mine specifically will reach the ship from the ground, but that's
Comlink, long range, encrypted, +10 to DC of all used computer checks.
I think they're not. Yeah, let's look at
Made to intercept your transmission.
I thought the comms were really. I thought weight-wise, someone had them on their sheet, and they were
1. I have it on my sheet.
Yeah.
1 pound or 1.
Yeah, if you shrink them down, they're 1 kilogram.
Okay. All right. What else?
I get excited about looking for a helmet on a planet that actually has ear holes, probably.
Yeah. So this is a crew's shopping list. A 3 med packs.
Okay.
3 fuel cells.
Okay.
And then the quote unquote helmet package.
Okay.
Which these are all basic items.
Okay. Losh, you heard them going to the store. Did you want anything in particular, or?
No.
Okay.
She's got her clothes and her lightsaber.
Okay.
And a living family. She's happy.
Okay. They have delivered a glass case, and the attendants have put him in it, dressed him up, and your mother dressed him up, cleaned them up and everything. So they come and put them in a glass case, and they take it down to one of the sitting rooms, the study or whatever, and flowers start arriving. So it's a big security personnel. Her old security personnel are still around, and their loyalty is they came right back. They quit whatever jobs they were doing and came back. She offered them a little bit, like a 10% increase, and they all jumped at it. So, and they seem very happy to see you. You know who these people are. You've known them, some of them, all your life. So it's like being at a reunion now, old friends and family.
Okay.
So flowers are being delivered. There's workers that have shown up, and they're starting to patch things back together and clean things up. There's a cleaning crew that's in now, cleaning up all the blood and whatever. And cooks have been brought back in. Not the one that you think may have poisoned your father, but others have been brought in, and they're sort of screening them and that sort of stuff. So the house seems like it's coming back alive, which is the way it used to be.
Any of my siblings coming home?
The military, no, and the others, your mother does not think it's a good idea for them to come home just yet, because they're going to do like a viewing for a week, and then they'll do the funeral. So,
Okay.
but people are starting to send food, neighbors and things like that, showing up and condolences and things. So, if you guys get done with shopping, it's about noon. Go get some food. Everyone's fed up. Go back to the hotel, I assume, for a little more scouting rifle info, looking out.
Yeah, I want to have our crew show me what to look at, or what I'm looking at.
Okay. Rua, do you want to set up his clips in the landing ramp and in the cargo bay? You could take out the he just had it like nailed in with a
Right. Actually make it so that it's
quick release. You could just step on the clips and pop it out.
I have to walk around it all the time.
Right, no, and let it fold down when it's not in use.
Right.
And all kinds of fun conveniences.
You might want to try and figure out how to get the power source to be portable, or leave it somewhere in the ship and have long cords or something.
Oh, yeah, we could just like install it and run power lines.
Yeah. And that way Leto or somewhere in the ship can adjust the power for you while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way they can just plug in and do the regulations for them.
Yeah, plug it into the wall and it goes to wherever the power pack is. Yeah, easy to do. Mechanics roll, if you want to break it down into like 2 rolls, that way it's not as big of a target. 25 for both.
We'll do the base installations first, and then
base installations are going to be like a 15. It's not.
Yeah, that's I got. That's a 23.
Yeah.
So.
And the power reconfiguration.
We'll running the power lines.
Yep.
I did that in the correct order because the first roll was a 9 and the second one was an 18 plus 14 is 32.
Yeah. You figure this out. You've got a port near the ramp that goes down, and you've got one in the cargo bay that comes out of the ceiling and attaches, and it retracts back up. So super easy, not having to haul this thing around. You can install this thing into like a wall cubby, and then so it's not like flying loose or anything like that. So that's an hour's worth of work for everything. Cool. You get back to the hotel. You got the rest of you in the hotel. Scoping the building out, it's really easy to see in. The bedroom that you were looking at looks like a spare bedroom. There's no activity. It's very Spartan looking. The boardroom has several chairs that you can see around a large table, and attached to that room is an arboretum pool area, and it looks like it's not really used. So when the sun comes up, the dew or whatever the fog would have been on the outside clears up, and it's a big spacious place. But on the other side, it looks like there's another attached sphere that is also the same sort of thing. And you can't quite see into the other rooms because the interior walls are all solid, but the exterior walls are all glass. I mean, like domed glass. And that seems to be, as you're looking around, the city. That seems to be the theme, is this open air structure, natural look.
These people are insane.
I mean, for a bunch of cutthroat people, yeah, it's pretty insane, but it's also
One guy with a helicopter could wipe out the entire financial district.
well, you don't know how sturdy the glass is too. That's the other
Was
thing.
Transpera steel around during this era?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure
Probably.
it is.
Okay.
Where do you think it came from?
You have to have that to travel through space like they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hola, laddie. It's transparent aluminum.
So is there anything else you guys want to do? You don't see anybody from where your vantage point is walking around the structure. But you're
just
pretty
think
sure
revenge
that's...
Revenge is dirty business, and I want it done before we dwell on it too long.
Okay.
So are we ready for the attack? Are you guys ready for the attack?
Anything else you guys want to do? Collect? Scout out? Rent a speeder, drive around, see if you can see in, or...
I think those are all marvelous suggestions, but I feel like I've bogged down the game enough.
So when I will say, like, when Hakru gears up, he wants to put, because he's got the big poncho that we all bought a little while ago. He wants to put that on and over his jetpack.
Okay.
So, like, his jetpack is concealed underneath the poncho. He will still have, like, the sniper rifle. Like, he'll be carrying that. But I know these are big air quotes concealed. Would be the jetpack, the heavy blaster pistol. Yeah, those would be, and the vibro dagger. He wants to make sure that those things are as concealed as possible.
Okay.
And like I said, he's got the helmet, which, you know, it's got the tinted visor, so that way you can't see in.
Okay.
Because that also is going to help hide his horns.
Okay.
And then, you know, hood up over the helmet even to, like, really help. Just
Yep.
he is in a sweatbox. Like,
Yeah.
Maybe it's winter on Bothwy.
No, it's nice out. It's nice out.
Did you, by chance, think to pick up a helmet for me?
you'd never asked.
No? Okay. Then I'm just going to have my shining mug out there for everybody to see.
I thought you went with them.
I
shop.
never really said either way.
They're only 4K, and we've each got about $1 million. So
Right.
All right, fine. I'll pick up a helmet. Something looks cool.
It takes you an
Also-
hour, you come back.
also they give you low light vision +2 to your perception checks. And if you fit them with a rebreather like what we have, you can actually wear them out in space, provided that you have another suit to go with them, like a flight suit, what a crew wears.
Let's not go out into space just now.
Yeah, you know, but basically the idea here is if we are in low orbit and we open the bay doors, Jad is in one side with the E-Web and Hakru is in the other side with his sniper rifle, and we are just fighting.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thought process.
I like how you guys are like, we spend millions of credits putting these giant freaking guns on the ship, but we're like outrigging it for our personal weapons.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, like, anyone who has, literally anyone can be in the cockpits. It doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be Jad. So if we're like in a low orbit dogfight, there is absolutely no reason that Dodd and Lash can't go into the cannon seats, and we just open bay doors with zip line strapped to Hakru and Jad, and now we have 2 extra guns.
I'm like having this vision of the movie Serenity with Jane on top of
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
Seth and I never discussed this, but that was both of our plans and inspiration.
Just be careful. You also become a target on the outside, like R2 and.
Oh, yeah,
Neo,
yeah.
And I don't think there's no pilot skill for dodging ship lasers. So.
Vehicle combat.
But not if you're standing on the hull or in the cargo bay.
Right. And so this is also, we're getting a little off track, but targeting with a ship cannon, targeting a human-sized thing, you're taking like a -15 to do. It's really hard to do. Also, the shields that would be up, we'd still be protected by.
There you go.
However, if they got another person out on like the wing and they decided to shoot us,
Yeah.
we just have that guy to deal with.
No.
So if someone's as crazy as us, then we're in a problem. But until they are,
I'm going to
we're
call that
okay.
now. I'm going to call that now. And no one's having any lightsabers coming out of their high heels or any of that crap that I had to watch in that terrible anime. Ugh. All right. So it is 10 o'clock. I think we're going to push this off until next period because it will take probably an hour or so more to resolve.
At least we've got a plan.
Got a plan, got a setup, got a gear. Yep. And I think we'll call it here. So thank you for tuning in again, and we will see you next time. May the Force be with you. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later. This has been a production of Gaming Without Gaming, all rights reserved. Visit us at gamingwithoutgaming.com. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/gamingwithoutgaming. Title music is by Greg Braun. Find him on soundcloud.com/Clara7. That's KLARA-7. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Gaming Without Gaming logo music is by Kevin MacLeod.